This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fully Managed by Penji podcast, the podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you on your business journey. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partnership coordinator, and I'm joined here a very special guest, Brenton Thomas, founder of Twibi. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me today.
I appreciate it. Could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? You should share a fun fact if it has nothing to do with agency work. That's also fun. And kind of how you got to this point in your professional career and your inspiration behind creating your business.
Yeah, so let's see. I guess fun fact is I used to play at Arizona State basketball with James Harden. So yeah, he made
That's
it to
really
the, obviously the NBA, so he's doing great in life. And
And
so,
so are you in a different way.
yeah, definitely. So it's interesting to see his progression from college into the NBA,
That's
which is
really cool.
awesome. Yeah, and let's see, my story from, I would say from college on. So went to school, got my MBA, and then worked a number of different corporate roles, and wasn't quite feeling satisfied from all the roles that I was working. And then during the pandemic, I had got what I thought was my dream job. I had turned 30 some years ago, and I was super excited about the position. And after about 3 months, they let me go super unexpectedly. And then I spent about an hour, just like really upset, just like calling people, like, what are we doing now? We're done venting. And so I started the company that I have today, founded it, Twibi. And it's been 3 years, almost 4 years actually. And it's been an amazing ride. The fulfillment is much higher. They're really enjoying just the agency and the people that I work with. So that's kind of my origin story.
Oh, it's really good to hear that you're so happy in this position. Is it something that you kind of always wanted to do, or is it something that you just kind of decided that you needed to do at the time in life?
Yeah, I tried to start 2 other agencies. And so I'm 34 now. So when I was 24, I tried to start an agency called Mindsight. And then corporate has this thing where it's guaranteed money and it has benefits as well. So then I put it to the side, and it's more of like a marketing research agency. That's what it was supposed to be. Put it to the side, just went to corporate. And then at 28, I tried to start another agency called Revolt. And then corporate, I just got a new job and it was going to pay me a guaranteed 50,000.
Again,
And
it's nice.
yeah. So I gave up in the last 2. And this third one, so I started the third one and it started to like really go up in terms of like revenue and clients being generated. And then I had a job on the line that was going to pay really well. And I had to really find a lot of courage to just say no to that job. And it's been great. So I'm finally glad the third try was the trick.
Third try is the charm. That's what they say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's really nice, and it's also, it takes a lot of courage to be able to, turn down a stable income. I completely understand. So that's really incredible, and it's nice that you ran with it. So how did you settle with this name? Because you've had 3 different names. What's the story behind this one?
Yeah. So the name Twibi is it's super unique. So organically, we can just rank and own our brand term.
Smart.
And then my name is Brenton Warren Thomas. So BWT are my initials, and a couple I's in there, and then
Which doesn't matter.
yeah.
I'm
So
French
it's a
back.
unique, yeah. So it's a unique company name.
That's really nice, and I completely understand that because some people will be like, digital marketing agency, and that's their agency name.
Mhm.
You're not going to rank very well for that because people are looking up that general, or they might rank really well if they're doing the right things because it's in their name. But also, it's it's a double-sided coin. Sometimes it's really helpful for you to have a unique name, and sometimes it is having a basic name is not great. It's really, but it's cool that that's something that you consider.
Yeah, yeah. It took a while to come up with the name.
So do you think that there's something that kind of contributed to the success of this one in comparison to your previous ones? Or do you think maybe it was like a time in your life or like an experience thing?
So okay, so when I had started the first two, put together the whole business plan, and I just didn't follow through. I didn't reach out to anyone. I just had the whole plan together and all these like invoicing docs and all the things you need to run the business. So
Mm.
I just didn't really try at all. I didn't do any sales tactics, didn't do any marketing at all. So there's really no chance for it to succeed if I didn't really try. And then this time, just spent a ton of time on like the sales tactics and the marketing tactics. And then I had some like lead providers that would take like 20% of everything I made. And so I just tapping into two of those brought instant revenue. And then those two they phased out like a year ago. And then the company has been strong enough to just live on its own in terms of revenue.
That's awesome.
So
That's the goal.
yeah. So yeah, we spent a lot of time just working on our sales tactic, the marketing, and then someone else on my team, they do a ton of the sales tactics and like outreach to find new clients. And then my whole thing is really taking care of the clients we currently have, giving them the best experience, like high quality work that's turned around to them quickly. And so usually that means like a lot of hours, right? Because it's high quality. You can't just like rush it and give it back to the client.
Of course.
And that tends to work really well. Retention and referrals, etc.
No, that's really great. It's nice that you are able to dedicate that time to them and not, you don't want to rush anything, especially when you're trying to do good work for people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So what do you think makes your agency stand out from other agencies that do things similar to you?
Yeah, so we're a smaller agency and we used to offer, full service. If you need some creative, we can do that. If you need a website, we want some paid ads and some SEO, we want email marketing, we can do it all. And then as time has gone on, we've pushed services out of our scope of what we do. We stopped building websites, stopped doing organic social media posting, and we're really just focused on like paid ads and like really getting deep into that. And so that's like made our focus like super dialed in. And
Okay.
that's been really helpful for our agent.
Is that something that you think you do best, or is that something that you just decided to niche down to? Or, I
That's a
mean, hopefully it'd be all.
yeah, it's both. Yeah, yeah, it's both. Yeah. So it worked out perfectly. There's a huge need for it, something we're good at, and then it was a great niche for us as well. So it was perfect trifecta of what we needed.
When you do something like that for different social media, this is something that I'm always curious about is what is the difference between your strategy for, okay, say there's two social medias, um, and they both have similar content, like say it's both kind of TikTok format where it's short form, like and Instagram Reels kind of thing. If you're creating an ad for this or an ad campaign for this, do you go about those two things differently, and how are those um, processes kind of different, even though they're the same kind of content?
And we say same kind of content. It's similar because they're in the same industry, basically. Like,
Um, well, it can be the same company, but for two campaigns for different social media. So they're the same kind in the way that they're both short form, but they're different platforms. Does that make sense?
same company across multiple platforms. Oh, okay, tailoring the content. So we don't spend a lot of time in like TikTok, or Twitter or Pinterest. And not to say that there's not demand there.
Mhm.
There's definitely demand there, but like really we focus on Facebook ads and Google ads. So throughout the years, we've just done a lot of testing and there's not a lot of like TikTok's algorithm it's not very smart. It's cheap. It's cheaper, the traffic compared to meta ads. But in terms of like getting your return off your ad spend. What we saw was it wasn't generating money. And I also think maybe the audience is a little different. Like, for example, Facebook, a lot of disposable income there, but it's that older demographic. Most of the revenue comes from,
Yes.
even though your ads will show the Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So pushing out all those channels like TikTok, Pinterest, etc. So really that leaves like Google and Facebook ads. And so really the difference is the slots for writing your ad. So Google wants like 15 headlines and like a bunch of description text. And then you have to write a lot for Google. So we'll take like different phrases and then move it over to Facebook ads and then extrapolate the phrase we like the most so it like fits the Facebook ad.
Something that I thought was really interesting that you had on your website is that you mentioned Bing for SEO. And I thought that was super unique because I don't even hear about Bing a lot. Do you have a specific strategy for using Bing? Also, do you run into clients that are trying to be searched on Bing?
No. No one's really focused on Bing. Well, if you get Google correct, then you'll just get Bing automatically, Yeah. And we only talk about Google with clients. No one's, I think when I had looked, Bing's like, I don't know, what, 15% of all like website traffic. I think Google Chrome was like 65%. So just go for the 65, dial that in, and the 15 will fall in place with Bing.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're probably similar. I'm not well versed in SEO around Bing, so I just thought it was very interesting to mention it because I mean, I guess they go hand to hand. They're both search engines and people are still using Bing, which is incredible. It was really doing great. I just thought that was really interesting. Well, the people aren't exclusively coming up to you and asking to be searched on Bing because I would be concerned for them a little.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they haven't heard of Google yet, those people who
Yeah, I would be interested to know what box they're living under.
yeah.
What rock they're living under, and that the same thing. But anyway, I just needed to ask about that.
Yeah, we want to show that we can cover it all,
You
so
can. No, that's a good thing. And anything, it's kind of, I think that people may look at it and be like, oh, he really knows his stuff. He knows everything because there means that you can also be searched for on Bing. That might be a difficult feat,
Yeah, his first for sure.
So you mentioned that making a business that you work with more successful than their competitors specifically. Do you have somewhat of maybe a policy where you don't work with people within the same industries or competitors of each other to kind of stick with this guarantee kind of thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
So we definitely work with others in the same industry, but our process is so like unique to each client, and we don't share obviously like what we're doing with another client with like I guess their competition.
Yeah, of course.
But by the time we get through like what makes your brand different and how should we speak about the brand and the way you position it on the website and their creative and what's most important to them and what they want to optimize the campaign for, it's like very different. By the time we're done, it takes about a month to do all of our planning before we launch ads. And by the time that month is over, even though we could have, let's say, 2 clients in like the vodka space, by the time we're done, they're so different. The brands are so unique that it's not very similar. And then hopefully they don't compete against each other too much.
Yeah, I was just curious because like specifically mentioning competitors, I was wondering if there was any kind of barriers in between that. But it makes sense that if a brand is unique enough, then it doesn't really doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it's good work. I was just wondering if there were any conflicts that come up with that.
Yeah, typically no. And then I would also say our clients, like if we had a client like Coca-Cola and they're spending like 10 million a year, then it's definitely like raising the cost of the ads for our other clients. But our clients are much smaller, so the amount that they spend, it won't really affect our other clients. We had to spend like millions, to like start to really like affect the CPMs for everyone and all advertisers. So at this point, it's fine. I'm sure if we got into like, Fortune 500 companies, if I have like NDAs and like, you can't work with, Pepsi or something like that.
That's fair. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I didn't even consider that. Okay, wait. So I just had something on the tip of my tongue. It wasn't a question that I prepared. Sorry, is it? In there.
Hard to find.
Oh, okay, wait. So this is a fun question. What is, do you have a favorite industry that you get to work with? Or you have maybe like a favorite business or something that you've worked with that really excited you or you really, happy to work?
Yeah, I was in the wine industry for like 2 years. And before that, I was doing like software. And I was running ads for software, and it was okay. It was fine. But talking about software versus wine, I just love talking about wine. A lot of old, understandably.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah. So definitely wine. Quite a few clients in the food and bev space. And we also have clients in the B2B lead generation space as well. So we have a variety. We work with either side, but my favorite's probably food and bev.
Do you ever find out about new companies that you really like after, doing a campaign with them where you indulge?
Oh, yeah. They'll send me their products, and sometimes I do like test orders, and they'll let the test order just make it to my house, and yeah, and then with some good product. Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite industry to work with?
It's not, so much a least favorite. It's more of like companies that require a lot of education. They're like super specific.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's one company I was working with that does like the quality of your air in a commercial building, right?
Mhm.
And it's like so specific, and like at what point do you need, like, how do you even know your air it needs to be adjusted?
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I mean, if everyone's like breathing differently.
Yeah, maybe if you get plugged in sick or something, or
Mm-hmm.
and then you have someone test the air quality in your corporate office or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's like really hard to market that because there's like a lot of education that needs to take place first. So it's usually a more difficult sell, but if it's like a straightforward thing, we all know with like, let's say like tax planning or something like that, or like recruiting. We all understand. Like you say the word recruiting, you already automatically know what that's about. Then that's solid. But like some of those like really niche companies are really hard to market.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. It's kind of, I think maybe sometimes it can be kind of fun because you get to learn about something new, but I'm sure that maybe learning about air quality isn't, always fun, but also it's good for your health. So it'd be fun because, or it just could be good for you. Everything that's good for you isn't always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good for you. Yeah. And it is interesting to learn. There's a lot of like random facts I know. Work with so many
About
different clients. Yeah, air quality, and we had a military client, so learn about different branches of the military. So yeah.
That's really cool. So when you are in those situations, you do they provide you with information to educate you on the craft or the service or the product, whatever it may be, or do you kind of do your own research in order to elevate the campaign?
Yeah, we'll ask for them to send as much as they can
Mhm.
about what we're trying to promote. And then we'll go through this, we'll scour the website, right? So we would hope that you build a website that speaks about your brand correctly. And we'll spend a lot of time just like reading through like blog posts and the homepage and how you like what words you use. And then we'll use that to inform like ad copy like that.
Do you ever have to have a hard conversation with a client that they're not conveying their business on their website?
Mhm. Oh yeah. It's not a fun conversation. You know, we're critiquing your work basically.
Yes, that's hard for people to hear.
Yeah. So sometimes before we can run ads, we have to like take a step back and let's really think about like, we don't need to redo the whole website. That'd be nice if you did, but let's just work on a nice landing page.
Mhm.
And on that landing page, it has everything that the person needs
Ye-
to convert. And they don't have to go check out all the other pages on your website that might be a little subpar. And we have a very like dialed in like set of steps that takes the person into checkout or whatever, form submission or whatever you're trying to accomplish.
That's smart. And it's nice because even though you are doing a service for them, it still is time consuming for both of you to have to revamp an entire website. So to be able to do it in the most efficient way is probably extremely helpful in that situation. Um, I'm sure that, obviously landing pages are one of the most important things for engagement and, signing on for sales. But it's nice to realize what you need to tweak in the best way in order to have that traffic.
Yeah. And we want a long-term relationship with our clients. So it doesn't do us any good for us to say, let's just run ads. We'll start charging you. And we don't really build landing pages. So we actually have to refer you out to someone else. Someone else will then build a landing page and we get started later. But we hope that we can have a longer relationship because you're getting a return on your money. So if we can just wait a couple months, it doesn't really help us because we have to wait before we can close on the client. You go get your landing page done, come back to us, and we can have a longer relationship.
Oh, that's really nice. It's also good to have those connections that you can trust to be able to, give them over and ensure that they'll come back to you. Because, I'm sure if you recommended them to a horrible landing page guy, they're not going to want to working with you.
Definitely. Yeah, it's hard to get good connections, like people who do really good work that you want to refer people to. It takes many years to find great people that care about their work and they do it like timely and et cetera.
Yeah, and care about their clients inside. It's very, a lot of people will just bust things out, and it's nice to know that they're doing good work for the right reasons, and they're not just doing it to make some money. And it's good to be able to refer someone to someone that's just like you.
Yeah, and this whole thing is like so relationship based. Like one amazing relationship branches out into all these other referrals and upsells and all these amazing things happen off of like one amazing relationship. So like really take care of the client. Like, are you happy? Like, how do you feel about the way things are headed? Like checking in, like providing the best possible service is like so important.
That's why the referral system is so important with agency work specifically. It's if you love having a client, and hopefully everyone that they work with is also just as nice and fun to work with as them. So it's not only great for you to keep those relationships, but it's also it's important for them. Like the same thing that I said before is that they're not going to want to recommend a friend to someone that doesn't do good work for them because obviously that looks bad on you. It's like recommending a person to a job that is not good at that job. And then you look bad because they're like, oh, well, this person doesn't work. Why are they friends with that guy?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it makes us look bad if we refer the wrong people out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to come back to you because of that experience. And instead, why does this guy trust him? Should I trust him now? Or but yeah, no, I think that's incredibly important. And it's nice to know that you have those connections. Is it something that did you form partnerships or I guess just general business relations over the course of your time before having this agency and kind of have these in your back pocket? Or is this something that you kind of sought out when you realized that you weren't doing those services?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay. On the corporate side, there's people that you run into, like your coworkers, who can do a certain job. But then on the agency side, once I crossed over, I've realized that if someone has a full-time job, their main priority is not the little side gig that they're doing to help you. So they take a long time to like finish certain things. And it's just not their focus. So really I had to reset all of my contacts, really had to start from zero and like find other consultants or agency owners. And that's their main thing is providing good client work and not, I have a corporate job that takes up, a third of my mind space or bandwidth of life,
Yeah.
So it took a while. So it's been almost 4 years and just like collecting people. And sometimes I find someone who's like amazing in terms of what they do, but they're super slow. I like what they do, It's like, and then the client's getting impatient, or you might find someone who's not as skilled, but they're really fast, and the work's a little sloppy. And it's like, the combination's not quite right. So it takes a while to find the right partners.
Yeah, of course. I think that is definitely something that is troublesome in the agency space and in general. That's something that it's like, unfortunately, sometimes you have to do trial and error. They can show you beautiful evidence that they're going to be able to achieve a certain goal or whatever it may be, but then they don't do it in like a timely manner, or they don't do it in the right way, or they don't yield those results and whatever it may be. I think it is really important to find that like sweet spot person that not only you can refer people to, but also that you can work with. So yeah, that's definitely an important thing to keep in mind, and those attributes are an important thing to keep in mind. And I think that a lot of people don't plan for those things to happen or to realize that that's how it's working. It's nice also that you made an adjustment because, of course, I think that everyone wants to recommend their friends because they know they do good work, but it's important to also have the mindset of keeping the clients that you're referring in mind of that, they need to devote time to these people. And, if it's not their number one priority, then it's clearly not going to be the same relationship that, someone who can prioritize them will have.
Yeah. And referring friends, it's for most part, I just keep friends out of it, like friendship and business. I just keep it separate. Even if they could, do the gig correctly, I just want to keep our friendship together and intact, so I just keep business away from friendship. So I really had to start from zero because I didn't really want to give it out to friends. That might sound weird, but
No, that makes sense.
like
It's
friends and family, you throw family in there too. Yeah.
conflict of interest. It's difficult. And, if you can't really, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, you can't cut a friend off because they did bad work with the client. And
Yeah.
you can, but that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Putting yourself and not putting yourself in those situations is probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I hear the horror stories of business partners, friends turned business partners, and no longer are they friends.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. The risk and reward. Yeah, just keep it all separate, and you keep all your friends.
Yeah, and you can have business partners that are like friendly acquaintances, and that's still nice.
Yeah.
Good relationships with people in business is still nice too. They don't have to be able to go out to eat with them if you don't want to. People that they're maintain that kind of relationship, you can just have nice conversations and maintaining time. Those are good relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's time for a game. I didn't warn you about the game in advance. I apologize. But it's just standard get you on your toes. It is something, some of it's marketing related, some of it's just absurd questions that I came up with and I like to ask people.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna ask you something. Okay. First one.
It's like rapid fire.
Rapid fire, yes. But if you have an explanation, I like the explanation, so it's okay if you're just okay. First one. This is more marketing-ish. Bad press or no press at all. What's worse?
I would say we'll say bad press is worse, but it depends on what you do. So if you're like a celebrity, I think bad press can actually be like pretty good for you. Depends on what your brand is as a celebrity, but for my case, I'd probably go with no press is better.
Yeah, of course. You can always find people that need things without press. But one bad thing, it's really hard. One bad review, the amount of reviews that you need to do to get back to a certain point, very difficult. I see that. I see that on people's review sites where they're they get one bad review and then they have 10 AI reviews after it, and you're like, oh, this is how it's going.
Yeah. We on Google Google My Business or whatever for our agency, we got all these 5-star reviews, got like 15 of them, and then we got a random 1-star, and I go to look to see who the person is, and I'm like, we've never worked with you. How's this possible? And so I told the person, like, please take the review off because it takes from a 5 to a 4.7 off that.
Yeah, it's dramatic, especially when you're starting too.
Yeah, so trying to get it down, Google's not really helping us. So it just kind of sucks that like random people you've never met can leave you reviews. That shouldn't be allowed.
I constantly say that I think there should be some kind of legal things in place for reviews specifically. One, because I hate AI reviews and a lot of people cannot recognize them. Because I read them constantly, I can very easily recognize when something is not a real person, but a lot of people can't. And I think it's bonkers that some people can do this comments. It should be allowed. Like, what's the point of reviews if anyone can ever lie? That makes me so upset. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know until a certain point in my life that review sites are just BS because people pay them. I did not know that. And I think most people don't know that. You go on a review site because you look at an article and you want to read that article to know more things about it. But it's this person getting paid by that company to write this review about them. And I think that's messed up.
Yeah. Well, I found out a couple of years ago that they pay people on Amazon to leave review.
Yes.
They like send them product and pay them. And it's like, well, that doesn't really make sense for the purpose of the review. It's kind of weird.
What is the point of reviews if this is happening? I don't Makes me very angry. I think they should put some fail safes in for that. I know Google reviews has some fail safes, but they also, like your problem, they don't have proof of using the product or the service, which is another thing that I actually haven't considered that they should also put into place somehow.
Yeah. What they should do is they should have the person confirm that the owner confirms that they know the person first, and then it opens up the review box, and then you can leave whatever you want. Like maybe something like that. I don't know. It's better than any person anywhere in the world can say anything they want. Or
That's
any
very true. I also think that if it's a disgruntled person that had a bad time, though, if the owner is approving,
I know. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
There
but
has to
I
be
don't
really
understand what you're saying.
there has to be another way to prove that you interacted with the company.
Just like email, it could be like the simplest thing to prove that there was an interaction. I don't know. But the screenshot of
Mm.
interacting with them specifically, I think that's a very easy thing. Or like requiring photo evidence for your bad experience. I think maybe sometimes is something that would be helpful, especially like people provide photo evidence for good experiences too. I think like that's not being able to arbitrarily review anything is well, it's seen with the progression of TikTok and cancel culture, and seeing it's one person, it blows up for saying something bad about a business, and then all these people are like, this business owner ate my cat, and they also hit my mother when she came in, and all that. So it's like, why are people like, I can't.
I don't know why there has to be a solution. There has to be a way to resolve it.
I'm hoping that there's some lawyer or something that creates something for this. I would really like to see that, or I don't know, I don't know if they'd go as far as creating a Supreme Court case for review sites, but sometimes there needs to be some stuff in place. And the evolution of AI, I think it's just going to get worse. Where you can't do just anything, and I think that like, what is the point of having a review site then if there's no trust in it? You're just gonna have to buy things arbitrarily, which I guess is what they did way back when. So you're able to just wreck to that.
Yeah. And speaking of AI, I can't stand AI overall. Like I'm not a fan.
Like first agency person that I think has said that to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's not a popular idea, but like the Google AI overviews, I've seen the Google AI overviews like give you an answer, and then the person who wrote the actual like blog post, it's like a rewrite of it's like plagiarism basically.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't understand
AI
how
play.
Yeah, basically it's plagiarized. It's just moving the words around, and I don't know how that's okay. Like the company that's in first place that wrote that, they took the time out to write that blog post and really put a lot of thought and had humans writing it. And then Google just takes that phrase and they just put it right above them. So it's number one, the AI overview, and then they get pushed down and they plagiarize when they
That's
do
very
it. So,
it's disappointing. No, I think there's an unbelievable amount of problems with the rise of AI. I think also talking about the Google AI specifically, I've seen this just happened to me yesterday. I was looking up something, just question. I just wanted to know about something, and I was just looking for a yes or no answer. And the AI contradicted all of the articles below it, like completely. It's not efficient either at this point in time. So it's also, I don't, I think that before putting something out, at least make it more efficient. But at the same time, it's just like, I prefer human-centered approaches for anything. So AI is not something that I really love either. Definitely, was worried about it for a long period of time. I definitely think it is helpful in the tedious things that you might have to do. For ChatGPT, I didn't use for like the first year. I think that people were talking about it as becoming, because I was like, I'm not going to be able to think for myself if I become reliant on this. I do not want that to ever happen. But again, it is helpful for time-consuming tasks that can be done easily. But I also think there's a there's a human-centered thing that needs to be involved in any process. Like, even if they can create something for you, you have to approve it. You have to check their work because it's not foolproof.
Mhm. Yeah, hallucinates and but I do think it's great for like rewrites. So we use it quite a bit for like writing some ad copy. But we always take the first attempt at writing. Like the imagination of ChatGPT is not that strong, but grammatically it's really solid, right? So we come up with the imagination, the angle of which we want to promote a product, and we'll type it out. There's some grammatical errors, but the structure, the idea of it's there, and then we tell ChatGPT to rewrite it, and then that combines our imagination with ChatGPT's good like sentence structure. So we don't let it just start off with the imagination for us. We have to put it into the machine. And that's how we use it the most.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think that if you pair good workers with the service, it's incredible. Like, you can just elevate who you are like easily by just, being able to do something quicker. Which is always great, which is efficiency campaigns. Sometimes have time limits. And yeah, I think that that's something that's really great about it. But again, like, I think that people who over involve themselves in it, and try to use a less human centered way of doing things, I think is at a detriment for them, at least at this point in time.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think it'll get smarter. Like 10 years from today, and you hear like Mark Cuban is like in 1 year, all these jobs are replaced, and there's no way in 1 year, there's no way it's replacing like the the human intelligence. Like there's no way that's even at threat. Right now it creates like interesting images for people to, like more of a hobby, right? And you can
Yeah,
post
what
on
is
Instagram. Yeah. But it's not ready for like using in a business capacity. And then like Facebook ads has this thing called Advantage Plus, and it's like a ton of AI. And so I had a bunch of my campaigns accidentally on that because Facebook pushes you into it to try to have you in it automatically.
interesting?
And I didn't realize it was turned on. And then all my campaigns are tanking. They're doing so bad. And so I was trying to figure out like, well, what's going on? And I go back and look at all my client accounts, and all the accounts that had campaigns are running this Advantage Plus AI thing that Facebook's doing, performing terribly. And then all my other ones that accidentally did not have, I didn't have it checked on, those were all doing great. So I took them all off, and they all came back up, all the performance.
That
So
is incredibly interesting. I didn't know that that was something that was happening.
yeah, there's even Advantage Plus creative.
Mhm.
And so the AI will look at your creative and then choose a song for you inside of Facebook. So we have a client that is in Napa. They sell wine, and we're trying to get people to show up to a tasting room and enjoy a great wine tasting, maybe pair it with some food, etc. And the AI chose a song called "I Hate It Here," and it's like that's not that's not the angle. I want "We Love It Here," not "We Hate It Here." Like,
That's so interesting. Not efficient. It's not efficient at this point.
so my point is, there's many years before it's ready. It's just rushed. All of it's rushed. So maybe in 10 years, they might start replacing some of our jobs, but it's got a ways to go.
What are you gonna do? I think even at a point where it does replace jobs, I think that there might always be an arrow. I just said jobs that they are jobs. I think at a point, if they do, are they there that has the capability of doing that, I think that there will still always be people in those positions because, again, like, there's always going to be people that don't want AI to do it, whether it's something that is like able to be done efficiently and successfully by AI at some point in time. I think that, people always appreciate humans. And I think that when something like this is created and is increased, the people will miss humans a little bit.
Yeah. I know like if like Google lays off 60,000 like customer service jobs, right? And they're gonna replace it with AI. And I wasn't on Google's AI bot, but it was on a different website. And the AI bot, it doesn't have understanding of like what's happening in the world. And so I'm referring to something like not in my ad account, but it's I forgot what it was, but it was something in relation to my ad account and like something that's happening like in real world.
Mhm.
And the AI just couldn't help me. And it's like, just get me to the human. I promise you, the human can help me. We can
Human
resolve it.
hates.
Yeah, quickly. So I do think there will be some people that want the human experience always, no matter what.
Oh, I get very frustrated, especially when I have a problem and I can only talk to a robot on the phone. I want to die. I don't think there is ever a point where that makes me feel like I'm cared for. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that that's not. I know that that might be the direction that we're going now, but I think quickly people will realize that that's not helping them. And I hope that happens at least because I hate that, and especially when I'm dealing with complicated things like insurance, and they're like, "Say yes or no" into the phone. One. And then when I do meet a person, I'm angry. With the person, it's not their fault.
Yeah, maybe it's an overcorrection of AI, and maybe some of the companies start to realize like, oh, we need a balance. We can't just like let people go. We got to bring some people back, so we balance it out correctly. So maybe that'll happen.
I hope that's the direction that we're going in. Okay, this is actually a perfect, hopeful ending. We hope that this is the direction that we're going in because we are over time.
Yeah.
This was so incredible. I really appreciate you coming on with me today because I really did learn a lot, and I appreciate you teaching me a bunch of things.
Problem.
Thank you so much. And this is thank you so much for coming on. Again, I usually say that like 10 times, but I appreciate that. And thank you everyone for listening or watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more stories like this and learn more like I get to do. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me today.
I appreciate it.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.